Okay, hello everyone. Again, my name is Michelle Sprott, and I am the founder of Brunchnista, which is a lifestyle brand. 2020 has been a year that we will never forget, from the pandemic to police brutality and global protests that have followed all around the world. It's been quite a ride. But if you're here, you are blessed to see another day. I've been busy protecting my joy while still advocating for my people the best way I know how. And I've been following if you've been following my journey, or you just started, or you're just meeting me, I have always been an advocate of Black owned businesses. And I became familiar with the concept of buying Black as a form of protest and resistance this year. So, according to Nielsen, African Americans have 1.3 trillion in annual buying power. So that's a lot. And so grocery shopping is something we all do, but honestly, how often do you consider purchasing something from a Black owned business on your grocery list? So most of us just go in and we buy items that we're familiar with, but it's time for a change. And with the social climate, I think we're the right people to make that change. So I decided for during this pandemic that I would curate a Black owned brunch box. And so that's how I've been dealing with the social climate and using my platform and my voice to create change some way, somehow. The brunch box, it's a way, plus brunch box, plus also eating at Black owned restaurants when possible. That has also been a big push this year due to the social climate. And I think it's really important for us to understand that when you shop or buy Black owned, you are single-handedly helping to revitalize a community that has been locked out of a lot of opportunities. So it's really important to put that into your daily lives if you are someone who is really interested in creating some type of change. So consider this my friendly nudge to be always diligent to support Black owned today and always. So that is how I've been dealing with a social climate that we've been dealing with this year. I started Brunchnista because I felt there was a need to remind us that we needed to think about social wellness, or we need to think about our wellness, but we also need to consider socializing as a part of our wellness journey. I think it's really important for us to think about that, because the pandemic has shown us as soon as we were home and we weren't interacting with people, we really realized how important it was for us to use socialization as a part of our wellness. And I created Brunchnista to kind of remind us that it's important to connect with people. It's important to make sure that you are reaching out to your friends, that you are creating meaningful relationships, that you are bonding and just using your socialization as a part of your wellness journey. Because I think once we are climbing the social ladder, or we are going after our goals, the first thing we tend to do is eliminate our social lives. But that is a really important part of our lives. And I think that we should always consider not eliminating it, but adding it in. I know for myself, sometimes when I'm bogged down with work, I'll, decline that invitation to brunch sometimes, or I'll decline that invitation to drink sometimes. But that is usually where I get my inspiration, if I allow myself to actually go out and enjoy it. So I think we should always consider our social lives as a part of our wellness journey. That is definitely not something we should eliminate. Also, it's also very easy to have hard conversations over food. I mean, I feel like anything that is difficult or we're having a hard time discussing, if we are gathered together communally and we're having drinks or food, it's an easy way, is an easy pathway or segue into discussing things that are normally not as easy to have conversations about. So yeah, so I use Brunchnista as a key way to build the community and food and to alleviate anxiety when discussing difficult concepts or, conversations. Um, I do really believe that prior to the pandemic, we relied heavily on digital interaction, like scrolling through Instagram or liking our friends' pictures on Facebook, or maybe even sending a direct message. We relied heavily on that. But as the pandemic has shown us that that is just not enough. And sometimes you really need to sit across from your friend over some great mimosas and really discuss what's happening in life. And I don't think anything, as much as technology as we have and as advanced as it is, I don't think there's anything that will replace you actually having that one-on-one connection with your friends. So definitely, I think the pandemic has kind of taken care of that, because I was trying to get that message out before, but now with the pandemic, I feel like we kind of all understand that it's really important to have those face-to-face conversations. So I don't think I'll talk about that much, because I think we all get that point now. And like I said, sometimes, a lot of the times, people have said that the pandemic, has been really hard. But I think this is the one good thing that has come out of the pandemic. It's really shown us that we need to value our connections and our friends and our family and enjoy the time that we have with them and really make the most of it. I know this year, Thanksgiving, we may not be able to convene in the way we used to. I just saw that starting today at 10 p.m. in New York, we can only gather with 10 people. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but gather your 10 people together, get those COVID tests, and make sure you cherish those times that you have with your family and friends, because as we know, life is short and we are not promised tomorrow. So, don't go into a turkey coma and go to sleep. Make sure you're taking that time to talk to your family, love on them. And even if you have a situation where you have to do virtual, obviously that's not the best way to connect, but it is the way that I think another good thing that the pandemic has given us is virtual, right? And we are still able to connect, even if it's not face to face. So with the pandemic, I think even after the pandemic leaves, I think virtual and gathering in this way that is really easy for us will remain a part of our everyday. And I think, connecting the dots, this is a great way. It's utilizing what we have and making the best of what we have until we can meet again. And so even though we're not face to face, we're still able to make the connections, and we can still see each other, right? We can still see the expressions, we can read tone. So it's great for that as well. And self-care. So like I said, I think we all need to remember that socializing is a part of our wellness journey. We're not going to eliminate that. We don't separate them. Having social friends, people who you can count on, people who you can call in the middle of the night who will pick up, that is also a part of our wellness journey. And I don't think that we consider that as much as we should, but it is a huge part. My therapist, she told me this week, you should have 2 people that you can speak to or call in the middle of the night if anything is happening. And so that really reminded me and really, zeroed in on why Brunchnista, I started it, why it's important. I think food, family, friendship, they all go together, and they make this really great package of simple things in life that don't really cost a lot, but they bring so much joy to our lives. And so um, that's what Brunchnista really is about. It's about strong female friendships, good food, good cocktails, and self-care. And so self-care is a buzzword that we're hearing a lot these days, but it really, really is important for us. We need to take the time to relax, to do that bath, to take some time out, just take a walk, breathe some fresh air, have your conversations with your therapist, make sure you are evolving in that way. Uh, Self-care is, everyone is on the self-care kick this year. It's a buzzword, but I think it's definitely something that we need to be mindful and be ready to embrace fully, not just as a buzzword, but as something that we are really implementing into our lives every day. So when you come to Brunchnista, or you come to my site, or you go to my Instagram page, what you'll see is me being very intentional about living a fantastic life in the simplest way every single day. With something as simple as brunch, with something as simple as um, going out and hanging with a girlfriend. Those are things that sometimes may seem out of reach to us. Maybe we are, you know, maybe you have a relationship or you have a child and you're not able to go out as much as possible. But I'm really intentional about living that brunch life, the lifestyle of brunch every single day, and not just Sunday. So that means incorporating small things that I enjoy into my life every single day, and normalizing that luxury of, being able to do those things every single day, and not just saving it for that one time a week or that weekend, to do those things for myself. So that's Brunchnista, and I'm so glad that you guys invited me to speak today. And yeah.